Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their new books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows and movies that are currently in the works as well. That's really going to establish the Star Wars lore in a very different light by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe by George, John, and Dave is that not only do we have a lot of legends coming into the equation now, but we also have a lot of rich, original material that's going to be combined with that as well. So, given that Disney executives, as we have discussed before in the past, are grouping together, trying to find ways to regulate the franchise and to really kind of just improve things and build things from the ground up, to give the fans a fresh, new start with the Star Wars universe, starting in 2023 with The Mandalorian Season 3, followed by Ahsoka, and of course other shows out there as well. Now, with that being said, one thing that Disney actually has in store and tricks up their sleeve has a lot to do with the fact of all of these different strategies that they are putting into play right now in order to course correct the sequel trilogy and the overall lore, how fans view those movies, and exactly how they're trying to find ways to gain back the fans that walked away after Episode 9. And that's what Chapek is trying to do at the end of the day. He is trying to revive the Star Wars fandom. There's no doubt about it that there is still a good percentage of fans that have not returned to Star Wars because of what happened with the sequels. Now, with that being said, with Disney and Lucasfilm now getting ready to introduce a host of new Star Wars shows at next year's Celebration event, Bob Chapek, the CEO of Disney, is finally moving ahead with a very involved project that is set to focus on resetting the sequel trilogy and how it's told to fans. Now, further, it's noted that Disney's big plan that has been on and off in early development is now coming together, and that they are planning to introduce two big extended cuts of both The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker especially, that will involve as much canon deleted scenes as possible that will be inserted into the stories, that is set to completely reshape the storyline for Rey, Palpatine, Luke, and others. Chapek has been inspired for a long time over what DC did with Justice League's extended cut, and they will be doing the same thing with Episode 9 and 8. However, it's labeled that The Last Jedi won't be as involved, as there were far less deleted scenes in comparison to The Rise of Skywalker. Now, Disney is now on a roll to establishing most of the deleted scenes that Kathleen Kennedy deleted, and are finding ways to make them canon in the Star Wars universe. Now, let me pause here quickly for a second before I get to the next exciting, piece that actually goes along with this. Now, this alludes to what Ian McDiarmid said, alright? Now, for those of you that don't know, Ian actually put it out there that there was almost a whole movie's worth of deleted scenes for Episode 9 that involved Palpatine, Rey, Ben Solo, and the like, and that he believes that it was just a waste of time. He was making a joke about it, of course, like how he put all his effort and time into doing all these different scenes for Palpatine that just ended up getting scrapped. And he joked about it, of how, it really was going to be like a whole other movie, and that they should have released a part 2. So he was joking about that is how much material there was left, that they could have made a part 2 of the film. So that just goes to show you that this movie was going to be so different at many different points in time during production. And no thanks to Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, when you look at Episode 9, the box office, it could have done so much better if Kathleen Kennedy just did not intervene and did not get in the way and did not delete those scenes. Obviously, a lot of fans have always wanted to see the Force ghosts appearing, which, by the way, is a part of those deleted scenes. We were supposed to get people like Anakin, Luke, Mace Windu, and, all these different characters that were talking to Rey in their physical forms. It's just very unfortunate that we did not get to see that. We know that Ewan McGregor came in as well to do a little voiceover. I mean, there's a lot of things that went into this. So, beyond that as well, this is where things begin to pick up and get even more involved. Now, other deleted scenes that may not fit into the canon properly are planned to also be released, but won't be involved in the cut of the story, if that makes sense. So, any scenes that are going to be, too out of place are going to be considered quote-unquote non-canon and won't be involved in the cut, but will still be available to watch as a deleted scene. Now, both Favreau and Filoni, as well as Lucas, will also be involved in how this is going to be essentially developed. Lucas is the one who worked on many of the deleted scenes with JJ and Chris before they were deleted, when Kathleen Kennedy was desperate on how the sequels would end, when they had, of course, George on set supervising and helping JJ on how the scenes would be done. Now, this is planned to be a 4-hour cut for episode 9, as there were close to 2 hours of deleted sequences that were left on the cutting room floor that Disney is now going to showcase on Disney Plus in 2024. Now, originally Disney was set out to release this in the holiday of next year, of 2023, but delays got in the way. So, unfortunately, we won't be seeing this until sometime in 24. What part of 2024 is a big mystery. It could very well be the middle of the year, the beginning, or maybe even the very end. We'll find out more about that in the coming months. Now, the thing about this that I think a lot of fans need to be aware of as well is the fact that even John Williams did a lot of composing of music for scenes that were also deleted. There were supposed to be a lot of dark race scenes. There were supposed to be more saber duels between Kylo Ren and Rey. Different variations, by the way, of the Death Star duel. There was just a lot of things that were cut out of this movie, unfortunately. And it just goes to show you that, yes, this was one of the big reasons why the teaser trailer was severely delayed from holiday of 2018 all the way until like Q1 or close to Q2 of 2019 at the time. That's why, we had to wait all the way, I believe it was, until April, if I'm not mistaken, just to get a teaser trailer, so to speak. I think that was at Celebration. And at the time, a lot of fans were just very, kind of just, fed up with that delay of what happened with the trailer supposed to come out in 2018 during Christmas. It did not happen, and that's why the marketing didn't do so well for episode 9. Because of all these reshoots, Kathleen Kennedy rearranging scenes and whatnot, it just was a mess, and that's exactly why J.J. Abrams even talked about this a couple weeks ago, as we talked about this as well. He himself even said that, marketing this movie was a pretty difficult thing. It was very hard, because they didn't really know how Palpatine came back at the time. They didn't want to specify that. Specifically, Kathleen Kennedy did not want to specify that. And it was just very hard for them to market it. And that's why you saw so little Palpatine in the trailers, in the footage, like the TV spots in the very beginning. And that was one of the big reasons why. So, anyways, let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon.